Welcome to the UC Tech News podcast. I'm your host, Laurel Skirko, IT Services, with Al Lavasani, Compliance, at the UC Office of the President. On the occasion of Earth Hour, which takes place on the last Saturday of March, we gathered with other members of the UCOP to discuss one of the topics of greatest interest to tech teams today, sustainability and energy innovation. We learned more about the progress and people behind sustainability innovation at the University of California and about the role that the tech community can play in contributing to success. Matt Sinclair, who's been at UCOP since 2004, told us about the progress that's been made since he assumed his role of Chief Sustainability Officer 21 years ago, and described the energy landscape in terms of two priority areas. One, moving to clean energy sources like solar, and two, green buildings, ensuring that buildings are more energy efficient.
We have, I see several members of our energy and sustainability team here, so I'll invite them to add from their expertise and experience as well. We've got Eric Everhart, who's the Director of Energy Services and can really speak to energy technologies or energy efficiency technologies especially. And Sophia Sanchez Saavedra, who's our UCOP sustainability lead. So she leads all sustainability efforts for UCOP's own facilities and operations. And Rob Stanton, who's also part of the energy services team and manages system-wide energy utilities database, among many other roles around managing our budget and overall department. So in terms of where we've utilized technology to advance our sustainability goals. So I was hired when UC first adopted a sustainable practices policy. It was approved by the Regents in 2003, went into effect in 2004, and that's when I was hired. It was the result of a student activist campaign that I was part of as a graduate student. So that's how I came into this role. And we had advocated for UC to go solar. That was the name of our campaign. And it resulted in what was originally just a clean energy and green building policy, and has grown from there into a sustainable practices policy for the UC system that now has 13 policy areas. So, and technology plays a role in all 13 of them. I can't cover each in detail, but what we've been at the longest is the clean energy and green building, where we started. And so UC campuses have installed renewable energy technologies on mostly solar photovoltaics on their campuses. We have over 50 megawatts of installed capacity, and I don't know off the top of my head what that translates into that would be understandable, but Eric probably does, or maybe Rob and Sophia, in terms of, I think it's like 20,000 households or average annual energy use, or maybe it's higher than that at this point. So we've made wide use of that technology on our campuses. And then we've done a lot of energy efficiency, and Eric's been leading that for a number of years now. I was part of that when I was first hired, was completely on energy efficiency grants. That's how my position was created. State grants for energy efficiency technology implementation on our campuses, and that ranges lighting technologies to all aspects of heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and then the control systems to control both the lighting and the HVAC. And we've done retrofits of existing buildings over the years that have saved us a cumulative over $400 million in avoided utility costs as a system. So huge payback there. And then on the new building side, we have required, since that original policy was adopted some 21 years ago, that all new buildings achieve LEED certification, first at the silver level, and then we upped it a number of years later to a minimum of LEED gold, and a lot of our buildings achieve LEED platinum. And we add above and beyond that, based on our priorities and values, and a requirement to go to a higher level of energy efficiency than LEED requires or our state building energy code requires. And so a lot of those green buildings that we've built over the last 20 plus years have included lots of building technologies, a number of which have been developed and pioneered and tested out in UC laboratories and UC campuses. But that ranges from building materials to new lighting technologies, new heating, ventilation, and cooling technologies. In the materials, there's everything from the finishes to the structure to carpeting, paints, and we've tapped into UC research for all of those things. So I think I will stop there because that's plenty. There's lots more, but really in energy efficiency, renewable energy, and green building technologies, we've got 20 plus years now, and then we've been adding on to that in the areas of transportation and water. The great work on the sustainable procurement that sort of is the foundation for all of this that Hillary helps to lead for the system. And then going into food and other aspects of sustainable practices as well.
Hillary Steinman, who's been at UCOP since 2022, explained her role in procurement and how that interfaces with a lifelong passion for sustainability and her position as a leader of the UCOP Sustainability Employee Resource Group. At UCOP, as a strategic sourcing manager, she negotiates contracts with vendors for IT and other departments. She spoke about the elements of the purchase agreements that are important to sustainability, like Scope 3 emissions, which center on travel and transportation.
I've been here for 3 years total. And in that time, I will say that I had the benefit of kind of coming into when a lot of these sustainability policies had just been created. So a lot of the work that was done at a system-wide level to provide guidance to campuses was done in about 2021. We created this wonderful document, and it's the Sustainable Procurement Guidelines. Because we're a non-mandate organization, that means that while at OP and elsewhere, we may have certain things we would love our campus counterparts to do, but ultimately everyone is their own unique entity and they can make their own decisions. So we just have to do our best to be influencers and make sure that they are influenced by us to do the right thing. And that goes with sustainability, that goes with a value-driven choice that's going to make things more efficient, a lot of things like that. So in the sustainable procurement realm, we did create the Sustainable Procurement Guidelines in 2021. That has been very helpful for local folks at campuses, either folks who are just, the departmental buyer or purchaser for their department, but also the procurement staff based at the campus that are processing requisitions. It helps them to make better decisions when it comes to buying things like IT hardware or buying facilities, items, or just making a selection that's a smarter choice for the environment. So I'm just going to kind of zero in here, and I can actually forward this on if people are interested in reading it. It's a guidelines document, so it's a little bit deep, but it is very interesting because it has product category guidance for all different areas. So for appliances and IT hardware, we have criteria where we have to have things be Energy Star or EPEAT. And then additionally, there'll be other specifications related to disposal of old products. So they must be certified by the Basel Action Network so that there are take-back programs or recycling programs that are in place so that when we do have retired IT products, there is a process to dispose of them responsibly and sustainably. So that's just an example of that, but we have that for so many different product categories, whether it's like cleaning and janitorial, carpet, flooring, you name it. There's a lot of elements, even within chemicals of concern, which is becoming a much more popular topic about different chemicals that are in the products we use or the food we eat. There's going to be more specific guidelines on that too, just as we kind of take notes from what the wonderful policy and the guidance we get from the sustainability department, such as what Matt leads. We get guidance from them, but we also take notes from kind of that two-way feedback of what people are seeing at the campuses too. So within procurement, those are sort of the steps we're taking, whereas we're always getting feedback from other stakeholder groups as to what we should be doing, sort of that help me, help you mentality. And as it relates to those procurement guidelines, we are always trying to make sure that they are up to date. I think recently we've had some of those conversations, so it wouldn't surprise me if we come out with a revised edition here in maybe the next year or so that kind of builds off of some of those newer initiatives or newer topics within sustainability that'll help people make those good decisions.
Sophia Sanchez Saavedra, Operations Coordinator and Sustainability Lead, and Daniel Rugrodran, Building Engineer, spoke about progress being made to measure, track, and improve energy metrics at UCOP buildings in Oakland, Riverside, and Washington, D.C. Speaking of data, Sophia pointed us to the most recent sustainability report, which provided impressive metrics system-wide and location by location across the University of California. Thinking about what we need to measure is a great way to wrap up today's conversation. We plan to dive deeper into what the tech community should know to manage technologies responsibly, especially from an environmental perspective. On the occasion of Earth Day, we look forward to diving deeper into AI's energy use.
Our team and Basque, they've done a lot of really great work to reduce our emissions at our facilities. And it is interesting, thinking about scope 3 emissions. It's a big chunk of our total emissions at UCOP. And that is mainly right now it's air travel and commute mode. So how our staff is getting to the office and the air travel that happens. So that's, one of the areas that we're going to start thinking about addressing, in the future, although it is a very complicated one to tackle since it's emissions that we don't have direct control over. So yeah, it's interesting to think about all the other areas that we're not even tracking that may, increase our emissions but it's all important things to think about and address as we move forward.
Thinking about what we need to measure is a great way to wrap up today's conversation. We plan to dive deeper into what the tech community should know to manage technologies responsibly, especially from an environmental perspective. On the occasion of Earth Day, we look forward to diving deeper into AI's energy use.